Taipei. Please stay with us as we come back to you for our next discussion as well. Now we move on to Asia. The Thailand government has announced that Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul will meet US President Donald Trump in Kuala Lumpur tomorrow ahead of the signing ceremony for a ceasefire declaration with Cambodia. Officials say the agreement will be a declaration rather than a full peace deal, signing both Thailand and Cambodia's intention to normalize relations. Thailand's Prime Minister will travel to Malaysia on Saturday, delaying his trip by 1 day to sign this ceasefire deal with Cambodia, although he will cut short his attendance at the ASEAN summit in South Korea due to the death of the Thai Queen Mother, Her Majesty Queen Sirikit. Now for this discussion, we go back to Ross Feingold. He's a political analyst, joins us live from Taipei. Thank you very much, Ross, for staying with us. Now, looking at this news, officials said the agreement will be a declaration rather than a full peace deal. What does that exactly mean in terms of Cambodia and Thailand?
It means they're kind of making a commitment to President Trump, as well as Malaysia, which is Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim, because he's the current chair of ASEAN. They're kind of making a commitment not to resume hostilities anytime soon. But if it's not really a formal agreement with border demarcation and other conditions, then the possibility does exist that they will resume hostilities at some point. We know from recent history that this does flare up every few years. But at least in the interim, it seems that under pressure from the United States as well as from ASEAN, they're willing to sign this document and basically say, we understand that we should both control ourselves for the short term.
And as you say, this hostility might continue as this is just like a band-aid solution. How might this ceasefire declaration between these two countries could it reshape regional stability and cooperation in mainland Southeast Asia?
Probably won't have much of an effect. The big issue coming out of the recent exchange of gunfire was that a lot of economic interaction between Thailand and Cambodia across their long border and various border crossings came to a halt. A lot of Cambodians who were working in Thailand returned to Cambodia. A lot of trade came to a halt, whether in agriculture or other products, and that was just bad for the people who live in the border regions in both countries. So I think people on the ground do want normal life and normal economic activity to resume as quickly as possible. When it comes to broader initiatives, you asked about mainland Southeast Asia more widely. I mean, there's lots of initiatives under ASEAN, whether that's related to trade, transportation integration, even energy integration. Those things are going to proceed fairly smoothly going forward. I think most ASEAN countries are generally big fans of those mechanisms and are committed to those multilateral mechanisms working going forward.
And looking at this ceasefire or declaration, rather than a full peace deal, however, U.S. was involved. So how do you think the U.S.'s involvement changes anything? Do you think because U.S. was involved, this ceasefire or this declaration of could hold longer?
Again, it will probably hold for the interim because neither country, neither Thailand nor Cambodia, want to offend President Trump, and also they don't want to offend their fellow ASEAN members as well. And clearly, it was important to ASEAN to bring these hostilities to an end as quickly as possible. So I think both Thailand and Cambodia are incentivized to maintain the peace. Now, we do have some instability in Thailand, political instability. They're going to have an election sooner or later. We have governments that have fallen, or prime ministers that have fallen repeatedly in the last few years. So nationalism might become part of the political discussion in Thailand in the medium term. But for now, it seems that both countries do have incentive to keep the peace.
And lastly, looking at Thailand, who was this late Thai Queen Sirikit, and what legacy does she leave behind?
She was widely loved, as was her husband, the former king. They had ruled for literally decades, since around 1950, and they were really highly respected across society for their devotion to country and duty, their involvement with charity. And although Thailand has had very volatile politics through those decades, throughout the Cold War period and post-Cold War period, the royalty was always seen as generally above that, and that's one of the reasons why it was highly respected. So it certainly will be a unifying moment for the people of Thailand, hopefully across their political divide. And their political divide remains very, very deep. But hopefully this will be a unifying moment as people reflect on her contribution over many, many years, keeping in mind she was 93 when she passed away.
Yes, thank you very much, Ross Feingold, for joining us and sharing that insight as a political analyst and joining us from Taipei. Thank you. Now we stay in the region. In Seoul, more than 1,000 protesters gathered in the heart of the city to voice strong opposition to U.S. President Donald Trump's upcoming visit for the APEC summit. The protesters were particularly angered by President Trump's insistence that South Korea invest $350 billion upfront in the United States as part of a trade and tariff deal. Let's listen into what one of them has said.
나라 살림을 더 많이 지금 돌봐야 되는 상황에 미국이 너무 뜬금없이 강압적으로 그리고 강탈적이라고 저는 생각하는데요. 3,500억 달러라고 하는 말도 안 되는 거의 뭐 우리나라의 외환 보유고의 80%에 육박하는 비용을 갑작스럽게 미국에 투자하라고 요구하는 거 너무 강압적이라고 생각하고요. 그래서 대한민국이 이것에 대해서 더 거부 의사를 당당히 밝혀야 된다고 생각합니다. 특히 다음 주에 아펙이 앞두고 있고 이제 트럼프 대통령이 방한한다. 그리고 한미 정상에 뭔가 회담이 있거나 북미 정상회담 뭐 이런 여러 굵직한 사안들을 앞두고 있다고 하는데요. 이럴 때 대한민국 국민들의 분노를 오늘부터 더 강력하게 좀 전하고 싶어서 집회에 나왔습니다.
Trump has said the agreement would see U.S. duties on Korean imports reduced to 15%, although the key tariffs on automobiles remain unresolved. Seoul officials, however, maintain that much of the $350 billion would take the form of loans and guarantees, not direct investment, to avoid disrupting currency markets. President Lee Jae-myung is expected to meet with President Trump on October 29th to discuss the deal further. That's all we have time for. Keep watching NewsX World for more news updates from around the world.